Hello everyone! Today I'm going to talk about defenses. Note that this video will contain spoilers, so if you wish to explore the world of Aska on your own, now is the time to turn off this video. Still here? Good, let's proceed. Now, as promised, I am going to show you all there is to know about defense points. In the Builder menu, category 14, we find defenses. I'm going to build a barrack here in the middle of my town. Ta-da! Now it's done, so let's open the map, and when I hover over the barracks you can see its range. All buildings inside this range will get the defense points that this structure produces. So let's go ahead and take a look in the menu. As we can see up here, the building currently have no defense points. And this is because we have no workers assigned to this building. The way both the barrack and archery range works is that they will give us the base amount of defense points per villager that has been assigned. So in this case you can see 10 points per villager. I am going to assign Ingrid. And now when we go back, we can see it has been updated. So in total, both the barrack and archery range can produce 30 defense points to all the buildings inside their range. We haven't been discussing weapons before, but here in the weapon loadout, you can see that you can decide what weapons you want your warriors to wield. These are the different loadouts that are available from the start. I like to play with the heavy weapon, so I always assign my warriors to be a bruiser. If they would be assigned to something else and that weapon is not available either in the workshop or warehouse, then they will come crying to you that they can't find a weapon to wield. Later, when you upgrade the barracks to the improved barracks, you will get even more different loadouts to choose between. In both the barracks and the archery range, the workers will train until they are skill level 25. After that, they will continue training but not earn any more levels until you have upgraded the structure to the improved version. And since they are not going to level anymore, there's no real point in keeping them at the barrack. Then you can send them to do something else. Look how vigilantly she is training right now. Love it. So let's say Ingrid is skill level 25 and I would like to use her for something else than just standing and training for no reason. This is where I introduce you to the patrol markers. Sometimes you might want to have defense points without having to build a full-blown barrack in the middle of nowhere. That's when patrol markers shine. You go to the Builder menu, category 11, and find the patrol marker. Just like all the other markers, you place it on the ground and build it. Now, in order to use this patrol marker, we can go back to the barrack. We go to tasks, and here we can set up patrolling routes. This is how it looks. You add a new task, you name your route something cool, and then you add which patrol points you wish to be patrolled. As you can see, we have our barrack and our new patrol marker. We can choose either of these, and then we have to choose how long time we want our warriors to spend at this particular location. So let's say 12 hours. There, and we can add more. We can add as many as we want. And as you could see, when I added the barracks, and the same goes for the archery range, you can cross here that you want them to train while they are at this building. Or not. Now, if your route contains too many hours, you will see this message down here that the route is longer than what the worker is going to be working that day. This does not stop you from actually making this route. What it does is that the worker is not going to patrol for 24 hours as I've chosen. They are still going to follow their schedule. And then we choose which warriors we want to do this patrol. I only have Ingrid, but the moment we have all three, we're gonna see them here on the sides as well. When I'm happy with my route, I just press create. And the moment it was created, Ingrid comes running. Now the patrol marker is not going to be giving 10 defense points. If we open the structure menu, we can see that our flag gives 1 defense point. 1 is better than 0, so if you have a fishing hut far away from your village, they are still going to be very happy about having some bodyguards. The best part about using patrol markers is that the barrack, where the warriors are assigned, still have all the defense points even if they are not there at all. So you put your buildings in strategic locations to boost happiness in your village, and if you happen to have some building a little outside, like a fisherman's hut or something, you can use a patrol marker to have them feel safe as well. And now I'm going to build the archery range. There we go. Let's assign Ingrid. Ingrid will now go and fetch herself a bow and arrows. Now when Ingrid got herself some arrows and a bow, she will start training. Something that is very important about the archery range is that while the archers are training, they will be using all those arrows, and they do break after 1 or 2 shots. That means that if you let your archers train even though they don't gain any skills, they are wasting those arrows. And why is this a problem, you wonder? In order to make arrows, you need feathers. And in order to get feathers, you need to find bird nests. Bird nests only spawn at the start of each season apart from winter and when it storms. So you can be very unlucky and have good weather in the game and therefore have less feathers, which equals to less arrows. And since arrows are used both by the archery range and the hunters, this becomes a problem. If you run out of arrows, your hunters are not going to be able to bring you back food. So I really recommend having that in the back of your mind. I always check if my archers are getting close to skill level 25. And the moment they are 25, I put them on patrol routes so that they don't train anymore. They will still kill enemies that come close, but at least they will not waste those arrows on the training dummy. You have probably seen this message a lot as well. Your structures are not enclosed in walls. Making walls around your whole village will give all structures on the inside 1 defense point. If you have a lot of resources, you can absolutely build a wall. Although there are other issues with the wall. When a blood moon spawns, the enemies will walk towards your Eye of Odin. But the moment they get close enough to a wall, they will beeline to it and attack it. Sometimes it's hard to predict where they will get in range and attack the wall, which makes it hard to defend. It's also not realistic to have guards every 50 meters around your whole village to be able to defend against attacks. Due to this, I don't even build walls around my villages. A lot of players rely on terraforming to funnel the enemies to a couple of key points in the village, where your warriors stand guard. I will make a separate video about that, as this video is already getting quite long. I am going to demonstrate how to make a wall enclosed. First, you need to build a gate. As you can see, there is a green arrow. This green arrow is supposed to be pointing inwards into your village. Now, after the gate has been placed, you want to start building the flimsy walls. Even here you can see that arrow pointing towards where the village is. I will explain why it's important later. Now, in order to connect the wall with the gate, you need to hold it close to the gate until you see this green light. Then you right click, and now you see that you can switch around in which direction the wall goes, but it's still attached to the gate. I'm going to simply put it here and put another one in the same way, connect it with the right click and switch in which direction to go. Now we are starting to get to the end of this. Now your Tetris skills will be put to the test. You need to align it as close as possible back to the gate. If we have placed everything correctly, after it's built, we will see that the color on the minimap will change to green. There we go. Now the fence is complete, and as we saw, it is considered enclosed. The reason I told you in which direction the arrow should point is because after you have upgraded your flimsy walls to the hedge wall, you will be able to also set up spikes. Let's demonstrate. There we go. Now we can open the hedge wall, and here we see that we have spikes. If I now press build, you can see they have been added on the outside of the wall. I can't tell you how many times we have built the wall around the whole village to then notice, oopsie, we did put the wall the wrong way. Now as you can see, the spikes are there, and if any enemy comes up to this wall, they will take damage because of the spikes. The spikes will take damage from damaging the enemies, so you will need to repair them every now and then. For some reason, smokers also really love to sacrifice themselves on those spikes. I even heard about a player who would pick up smokers and run towards his own walls just for them to take damage and die. People can be so creative. I will mention, because this question comes up a lot on the Aska Discord. If we pretend that this mud pile is actually the sea or a lake, if you build your wall like this towards water, it is not going to be considered enclosed. The walls need to be touching each other or a gate in order to fully enclose. Now the last structure we are going to talk about is the Watchtower. You find it in the Builder menu, category 14. We are gonna go ahead and build it over here. There we go. Now this structure has a couple of add-ons, so let's take a look. You can add a roof that will protect your guards from the elements. You can reinforce the structure so it can take more of a beating from enemies, or you can add a horn. The horn works the same way as the one we can craft for ourselves. More about that one in a different video. Each tower can be assigned 2 workers. They will equip bows and arrows and guard the perimeter from the top of the tower. Assigning them also gives our surrounding structures 10 defense points per worker. One drawback is that assigned workers will not train, so the only time they increase their range skill is if they shoot enemies that come close. Because of this, I much more prefer to set up patrol routes in my archery range, so I can put trained archers in the towers. You lose out on the 10 defense points per worker, as you only get 1 defense point from patrolling, but you win on that your archers do more damage to your enemies, and because they are originally assigned to an archery range, you get those juicy defense points in the middle of your village, while they are stationed closer to the exits. As you can see, the patrol route menu looks exactly the same for the archery range as it did for the barrack. You can make as many patrol routes as you want. Note though that if you have assigned your fighters to a patrol route, they will be grayed out in any other one. What you do is that you simply create a new route and save. You can switch what route they patrol by opening the one they are assigned to, unchecking them, saving, opening the one we want them to go to, check them, and save again. This is very useful if you normally have your archers and warriors assigned to guard the entrances to your village, but then once a year you have the winter invasion, so you want to be able to quickly change where they are stationed. Players are also using this by placing patrol markers in the different enemy camps and sending their warriors to clean them out. This concludes the topic of defenses. Thank you for watching.